Grade 4's English for today, the second week of our isolation. And today I want to ask you about the reading, the prepared reading that you have to do. I want you to ask your mom to videotape you while you are reading your message, and then she can WhatsApp it to me and I can assist your reading. Remember to make eye contact and speak clearly, and all the things that you have to do when you're reading aloud for an assessment. All right, so you can do that later and then you can send it to me, my WhatsApp number. Right, we're going to do activity 93 in your study guide, so you can turn page to activity 93. There we have to do a discussion on the story of the four musicians, and there's a reason for this discussion and this and all the things that a normal story consists of. There must be a plot in a story, and there must be a setting in the story, and there must be characters in the story. Those are the three main things that you have to have in a story. If you go back to activity 93, they tell you exactly what is a plot. A plot is the main events that happens in a story. What happens next? First the donkey did something and his master did something, and then he decided to run away and stuff like that. So things happened in a sequence in the story. So that is the plot of a story. The setting is normally where it takes place. Is it in a town, on a farm? Where does the story take place? And then the characters is very easy. It's either the people or the animals that is in the story. Now, there are a few questions in this at activity 93, and that we should have used for a discussion in class, but since we're not in class, I want you to write it down. And there's 6 questions. Think about it, write it down in your books, draw a line on if you're finished with activity 93, and activity 94 has comprehension questions on the story of the four musicians. Then you complete that for me as well. On the next page, it's only about the reading, the prepared reading and paired reading. We're going to skip that because we're already going to do the reading. Now we get to the writing part of this unit 2, and you have to write a message. Now, when do we write a message? We write a message, or we record a message on our cell phones when we're not at the person that needs to hear something. And you want to leave a message telling something is going to happen, or your teacher asks you to give your mom a message, or your mom asks you to give your brother a message. So there's normally something that is going to happen and someone has to hear it. Now, if we look at activity 97, they asked us, if you give a message, there must be a purpose for the message. You must know what you want to say. Your information must be organized. Your message must be clear. And if you write it down, it must be neatly written down so the person can understand your handwriting. And you must say enough for the person to know what you're talking about. Now, I'm going to read you a message now, and you have to listen carefully. And then we are going to see if this message answered to all those questions of writing a message. Hi, Mum. I'm gone to Josie's house. His mum says it's okay. We're working on our project for our camping trip. I'll be home around 6. See you later. Love, Benji. All right. This is not in your book. You have to listen to this. So, who wrote this message? Yes, it's Benji. And why did Benji write this message to his mom? Yes, he's telling his mom that he's leaving home and he won't be at home. And why won't he be at home when his mom comes back? Um, and where he will be. So he will be at Josie's house, and he already asked Josie's mom if it's okay. So that information is clear. And what is he doing at Josie's house? They're working on a project. So is this message clear? Well, I think so. Um, is it organized? Yes, it's organized. Is there a purpose for the message? Yes, there is, because his mum expected him to be at home when she arrives at home. So, yes, there is a purpose for this message. Now, what do you have to do? You have to plan a message. And they ask you to write your own message, and you can read there through activity 98 what they ask you to do and how do you have to do it. So activity 98, 99 is all about writing this message. They also tells you you have to test your message with a partner. So to see if the partner or your mom or your brother can understand your message. All right, that's the one part of the writing activity. And then there's activity 100. That's also a writing activity. They ask you there to tell a true story. A story that you will tell around a campfire. Now, if you just forgot a little bit, go back to the start of the unit, and there you will see we've discussed around that picture on page 94 at the start of the unit. We've discussed about story. The discussion was about the story and the beginning of a story and the ending of a story, and stories that we normally tell each other. So they give you some guidelines there how to write your story, and you can write a story about what happened to you. Try to write a true story. I know that you can write beautiful stories. So activity 100 they will also be a writing activity. Activity 101 is some spelling words. You have to write that down in your spelling books or at the back of your workbooks if you don't have your spelling book with you. And you have to write a sentence to make each word clear so you can understand the word. All right, that is the writing part.